What is up again, everybody? Happy Sunday night to you. I did a live stream earlier and I was talking about this and that, and I touched on Snoop Dogg, and I was talking about how Snoop was performing at I guess a crypto event in honor of Donald Trump, newly elected again, President Donald Trump, who will be inaugurated tomorrow. And Snoop got a lot of backlash for this. And there were so many people narrating the backlash that Snoop was getting, about him pissing off black liberals and, you know, going on over to the MAGA side. But, I think the issue with people like Snoop is that, they are the sellout types, right? And like I said, let these brothers and sisters get their coins, however they get them, right? Because some of them are going to be sellouts for the community, right? Some of them are going to sell out themselves and not even realize it, right? And some people, they have more integrity. They don't care about money or offers to the extent that they can't maintain their convictions. And my issue with a lot of people today is that they don't have convictions. They can be swayed by the almighty dollar, right? And when you run into people who can be swayed by the almighty dollar, well, at least me personally, I don't tend to take those people very seriously, and I don't find them to be very trustworthy people. So, here's Snoop Dogg. What's going on? I see you. Here's Snoop Dogg, right? In 2017, right? He was talking about he was going to be clowning people who performed at Trump's inauguration, right? What did you say, Snoop?
Remind me again, what did Snoop say?
Shout out Celebrity Source.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out of one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? I was the one that performs for himself.
Talk about things that really just don't age very well. That really did not age very well for Snoop. I'm sorry.
Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? I was the one that performs for himself. Alright,
so I mean, I get why people are throwing shade on Snoop for being the one that Bucky danced over to the inauguration of Donald Trump to perform. He's going to be the one in 2025 to do it. He's going to go on over and shuck and jive, because there's no other black people to do it. Maybe black celebrities, they're like, we're going to stay on code, right? We already know what this is, right? Not Snoop. He like, I need them coins. I need them coins, right? I'm about to shuck and jive for Donald Trump. He about to get the best buck dance of his damn inaugural life from Snoop Dogg. So Snoop Dogg performed. Well,
let me go to the...
Snoop is a businessman at the end of the day. I get that. I get that. But you know what? Even a businessman should have integrity. Even a businessman should have some level of conviction. Even a businessman should have scruples enough not to run his mouth on a bandwagon of an ignorance, right? Only to have his words come back and slap his ass in the face because now he wants to make a business move and now he's looking dumb as hell. Snoop looks dumb as hell. Anytime you can fix your lips to talk to black people, your fellow black peers, and say some shit like this.
First one to do it. I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out of one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas.
Snoop deserves all the shade he's getting right now. He deserves all the roasting he is getting right now. And you know who's giving him all the business right now? Right? Elon Musk. Elon Musk is talking about how this statement of Snoop Dogg's, because he posted it as well on X, he reposted it, I should say. It just did not age well, right? And he's talking about how people are switching sides. This is Elon. Like the vibe shift is real, and with the laughing emoji, right? These people are laughing at him. But again, he made a business move, right? Okay, you made the business move, but this is a lesson for everybody, right? Because I think, and I teach my kids this all the time. I teach my kids this all the time. If you come in my chat, you guys know I don't allow people to just come in here saying shit. I will block you unapologetically once I start really engaging with the chat. Because I don't believe that adults should just run around saying shit, right? Have some convictions, have some scruples, right? Never say never and never make statements, right, that can come back and bite you like this, because now he's shucking and jiving for the same massa that he was out there trying to shame other artists into not shucking and jiving for back in 2017. And it's so funny because these black conservatives, they ain't got shit nice to say about gangster rappers and none of that shit. But the minute a Snoop Dogg gonna perform, Nelly gonna perform, and it pisses off the black liberals. Now all of a sudden they're like, look, Snoop Dogg is pissing off the black liberals and stuff. It's like, did you Negroes forget what Snoop Dogg said about Trump in 2017? Did you Negroes forget about what Snoop said? Right? Because apparently the internet didn't forget. Because now Snoop is looking like crazy. He looking like somebody that just don't have zero convictions and would do anything for the money. Somebody who is just basically selling his soul to the game. You ain't got no convictions. You don't have to when you selling your soul. Okay, you said F Elon, his word has no weight. Hey, I'm not a Elon Patriot at all. I'm not a fan of the omens, but at the same time, these people have an ideology, right? And and to me, I think certain mindsets that are tethered to Trump, and this has nothing to do with Trump, right? Because you can't help who tethers on to you, right? But there are some mindsets in Trump who they look at, people like Snoop Dogg as being beneath them, right? So they could care less if a Snoop Dogg or Nelly or any of those black faces that the Trump campaign or the camp drafted to be a part of this inaugural ball so that they can seem more black people inclusive, right? You know, they didn't really, care about that at all. They care about Donald Trump, his administration, and this mindset of what they can do for their idea of a white agenda, right? And again, I removed that from Trump because I don't ever see Donald Trump on that white Aryan agenda like some of the little fragments of his little base. But it's interesting though, right? What they say, don't ever write checks. Don't let your mouth write checks that your ass can't cash. In this situation, Snoop definitely cashed in on a check, right? But at the end of the day, credibility, right? Credibility is everything. Credibility is everything. And to me, it's just an indicator of these black faces that they prop in front of black people, right? These people will switch sides at the drop of a dime. You look at people like Stephen A. Smith going hard stomping for Kamala, right? And he's acting like he did that in the service of black people. It's like, bro, are you even an FBA? Like, I mean, seriously. But at the end of the day, you want to take the punk out position that you supported Kamala Harris because you thought it was something for black people. Now you all know over to the conservative side, right? Because you know where them coins at, right? People know where the shift has happened, right? Yeah, people know the liberal media machine, they have collapsed. They have collapsed. And there is a sort of new era of media where you have, these two competing sides again. You don't have this dominant liberal media machine and all their celebrity puppets and shit like that who are influences. And so they lost that, right? And so this is an opportunity for the conservatives. And because the liberals ain't loyal to anybody that didn't serve them, a lot of these people are expendable. Stephen A. Smith, These people, these are expendable assets on those sides, and they know it. So they're going to go where the money is, right? So Stephen A. Smith, he went on over just like the Candace Owens, right? They're all switchers. Like these people are double talking demons, all of them. You said color means everything to some. I am actually, I never used to be obsessed with race, bloodlines, and lineages. Um, until recently. I think that when you start understanding the history of people and tribes and who they are and their understanding of who they are, stolen identities, fake people running around saying that they're this and that, right? I actually think that it does matter. I don't think color matter, but I definitely think the lineage of people matter. And I do believe that people should start focusing on preserving their lineage because there's a lot of replacement demons around and they're just infiltrating everything with their disgusting bloodlines. And I just don't believe in it anymore. My perspective has changed, and I don't think that it is racist for people to want to preserve their culture. I will never be mad at a white supremacist with the mindset that they want to preserve the white bloodline or whatever mindset of the white bloodline that they have or whatever. That's fine. I don't want to taint your bloodline. I promise you. Um, but I think when it comes to foundational Black Americans, right? We should be just as protective of our bloodlines. And I feel like people should have the same energy. Don't be mad at us because we don't want to taint our bloodlines or our foundation. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I think if we are a very tribal nation. I think, yeah, we're all Americans by national designation, but this is not a homogenous nation. It never was. And so, you're dealing with a nation with different cultural ideologies. And, it's just what it is. Let me go to YouTube because I can't really see the chats flowing over here. But I don't think everything should be about racism, even though, unfortunately, this is America and there's going to be somebody who believes in it. Like, I don't believe that Snoop sold out because he's a black man that decided to support the Trump inauguration. I don't think that makes him a sellout. What makes him a sellout to me is the fact that you could run your lips and to your people like you did in the manner in which you did, telling people which one of y'all whoop whoop de whoop de whoop, and it's like, bruh, okay, you were the first one in 2025, so can we have the right to clown you? We have the right to clown Snoop since he was the first one. What you say?
Nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out of one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas.
He was the first in 2025, y'all.
I was the one that performs for himself. All right,
so Snoop was the one that jumped the broom. And it's not about him being a black man. It's just the fact, like, you can't fix your lips to say shit like this and then come back and just do the old buck dance for the same master you was demonizing your brothers and sisters about. Snoop flip for sure. We happy when you take the red pill. Lord, I'm your average everyday black American, and I believe Trump is not for us, but I also don't believe he's against us. He has a solid track record with my community when it comes to his works. I agree. I agree with that 100%. I've never known Donald Trump, and I've said this time and time and time and time and time and time again, and this is a politically neutral channel. But I've never known Donald Trump to be an enemy of black people. And I think when you sort of look at the track record of both candidates that were on the table One could argue that Kamala Harris was more against black people and her pursuits and her alliances than Donald Trump has ever been. So, I think that, I think that black people were obviously fed the Democratic propaganda machine about Trump. And I think if a lot of black people, and I think a lot of black people came to the realization too that they were propagandized about Trump, because a lot of them had to admit, like, okay, prior to the Democrats telling us that Trump was a racist and all this other stuff, we never really known him to be a racist. Like, we've never known Trump to be an enemy of black people. Matter of fact, he was kicking it so hard with, black people. I'm like, okay, well, he's not a good racist, okay? Because David Duke would never, okay? I don't care what the business interest was. David Duke would never kick it with black people as hard as Donald Trump has a track record of kicking that shit. He's kicked it harder with black people, in my opinion, than even Kamala. They had to go give her some HBCU cred to even just sell her. But I mean, he's kicked it with black people hard. I mean, even your so-called black leaders, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, they was kicking it with that man well after the Central Park Five. Well after the Central Park Five, they was kicking it with Donald Trump. Okay, Jesse Jackson had some space in Trump Towers. So, I mean, these people need to keep it all the way 100 when it comes to Donald Trump himself. Like, and I think that sometimes there is a conflation against the movement that Trump created and some of the characters in that movement and Donald Trump himself, right? If I separate Donald Trump from the MAGA movement, he's never been a guy that I've ever, and I don't know Donald Trump personally. I don't know his skeletons in the closet. I haven't seen I've seen a lot of witch hunting on the dude. I've seen a lot of people turn on the dude when it was convenient, and the same people that turned on the man are turning right back to his ass. So, I can honestly say that I just never had a bad opinion about Donald Trump. I never known him, and nobody that I've ever known has known him as a being an enemy to black people. So, it is what it is on that front. How are you? Yeah. How are you, Neo? Yes, Sir Snail. Are you talking about Thomas? If you're talking about Thomas, yes, that is one of my good friends, and I really love him. And he's a very, very smart black man. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But you got to be real about stuff. And I think a lot of times, black people, the awakening for us is really that independent thinking, getting back to real independent thinking, right? Where we're not in this herder mentality. And I've always said that I believe that black people should be politically neutral and just vote what, if you're inclined to vote what is in your economic interest, not, because a party is politicking on your past pains and transgressions and trying to leverage your past and your struggles, to get political brownie points. And that's, the Democrats have overplayed that card with black people, and it has come to a head. It has come to a head. I really do think that, if Trump can pull it off this next 4 years in terms of delivering economically in a way in which black people can actually feel it, right? The Democrats may not ever be able to come back from this loss. And I think there's a lot of people that are hoping that they won't. I definitely don't care if Democrats come back because they've leveraged black people so long that I am offended by that party. I am offended by that party. I have no loyalty to the Republican Party. I have no allegiance to them. I'm a staunchly independent person. But the Democrats, I've always said I have a special disdain for that party and how they have mocked black people, how they have demonized our people in little creative, slick little ways, and then they tried to act like they're our friends. So, I think for a long time, black Americans have gone with the devil that they've known. And I think that Trump has given them a reason to explore a new devil, if you will. And we'll see how it works. Most black people that I talked to, they said I was doing better under Trump. So obviously the Democrats really don't deliver for their base even when they give them their votes, right? People felt their own base felt economically disenfranchised by their policies. And that's just 100. Even the poorest and least IQ individual understand when their money is stronger. And that's just word 100. So, let's see. What's going on? I see you, Humble. How you doing? Sarah, I see you. Thomas, I see you too. Let's see. Let's see. Independent is good, Neo. I always tell people when you're right in the middle, you can kind of look at things objectively from both sides. And you can just make the assessments, according to what makes sense in your area, to you. You know what I mean? But it's interesting because I think that, again, watch these double talking demons, these media pundits, these political pundits, and how they're going to just be shifting sides, right? Eating their words on their knee pads, if you will, like Mika and Joe from Morning Joe, right? Soon as that man won, what did they do? They got their best pair of knee pads and they took their asses to Mar-a-Lago. And so Snoop Dogg, he's pulling old Mika and Joe. He know it's more beneficial to be for Trump than against him in this era where an overwhelming amount of Americans are for him, right? You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. They understand where the benefit is, and a lot of these black faces, and it's so funny because I follow all of the pundits, liberal, conservatives, and specifically the black ones. And so the black conservatives are laughing at the black liberal media pundits right now because they're having a conniption fit right now because they see all these black people moving over to Trump and sort of be moving into the favor of Trump. I saw another one where somebody was upset about Jasmine Crockett. I guess supposedly Jasmine Crockett is possibly making a shift. I think what it is like some of these liberal pundits, they're afraid. They're like, we are losing our clout, we're losing our credibility, we're losing our viewership. And a lot of them, they don't know what to do, but they don't realize that, your angry, politicized, radical way of delivering information, it didn't serve anybody that followed you very well. They were all still devastated by the fact that Donald Trump actually did win, even when many of those people were saying that Kamala will win, or however you pronounce her name. I'm so glad those Kamala people are out of my chat now. Like, say her name right. It's like her ass don't even say her name right, right? It's like, which crowd are we talking about? That's how we saying her name. If it's the black people, we're gonna call her Kamala. The Indians, we're gonna call her Kamala, and then the white folks will say Kamala. Like, it's so many different ways to say her name depending on what color you are, truly. And people say things aren't about race. Anyways, so what is your advice here? Just spreading hate? John Smith, you obviously have not been listening, so my advice is comprehension. Don't just come up saying shit if you haven't heard what was being said. So that's my advice to you. But isn't it better when black people are going into politics to represent their interests? I don't think the black people that go into politics are representing black interests, especially if they're empowered by APAC. Any politician that is empowered by a super PAC lobbyist group, they are not coming in for anybody's interest but that lobby group. They are coming in as faces to co-sign somebody else's misery. So I don't know. I really don't know what to think about black politicians these days. I think that they, like many politicians, are just asses in seats, paid by some super PAC to get them in a seat so that they can, sway policy. They don't even care about the votes that they're doing or anything that they're doing. They're not even supposed to. They're not getting paid to do that. They're being paid to be asses in a seat and say yes or no when it comes to a critical decision. So yeah, the politicians in general, not just black politicians, they just give corrupt these days, and so we'll just see. We'll see how a lot of these political super PACs and groups and representatives, how they ultimately pan out. I don't know a lot of black people that take the NAACP or quote black leadership. Even HBCUs have lost their clout, in many degrees, and really I find that, that was supposed to be the good old boys club for black people, but they don't have a lot of influence anymore. You know, they don't have a lot of influence. You can't even prop up a black candidate and be like, oh, they hail from an HBCU. Don't mind get about that. Are they smart? Can they do the job? Can they articulate? Can they be independent? Right? Do they need to be puppeted like they puppeted Kamala Harris? Right? Honestly, HBCU should have been like, stop puppeting her. You're making us look bad. Yeah, I got like 1,000 smoke detectors in my house. I just fixed one of them, and then like literally the other one just weeks after I fixed it, and they're really high. So that's why it's a struggle to change the battery in those things. So I'm gonna have to get somebody up and do it because I'm only 5'2", y'all. I'm not about to climb up on a ladder to fix no smoke detector. I'm just gonna let a man do it. All right. I believe in letting men do it. All right. I am not that chick that just be like, I can do everything. No, the fuck I can't. I'm going to call a man, right? Need my car fixed. I'm going to call a man. Have to call a man, right? Because some of these auto guys, they will sucker bob you as a woman. I realize that. And the only reason why they can't sucker bob me is because I used to work with technicians and mechanics, with an OEM that I used to work with. So it's like you ain't about to say a whole lot of stuff to me that I need. But yeah, it's always good to have a dude with you to do those handy things. But yeah, what's going on, Roosevelt? I see you. Yeah, but we had my ceilings are really I don't know if you can tell, but these are really high, and then you have the upstairs den and all that stuff like that. But I'm not. I can't even. These ceilings are so high. I get on top of my bed, and it's still a ways up to the smoke detector. So yeah, it's not even like I can just jump on a chair and do it. Like you really do need a ladder to go up there. But I'll get it. I'll get my smoke detectors fixed for you guys. But let me know what you guys think about Snoop. Do y'all think Snoop sold out? Right? Or do you think the brother was just he had a change of heart? He sees where the country is going and he's just rolling with the tides and making the money and profiting, and he's a businessman, right? So he's just profiting off of the change of tides. Or do you think that the statements that Snoop said in 2017 about other black celebrities that would come out and shuck and jive for Trump, right? Do you think that those words did not age well for him, and he's actually giving a man with zero convictions, whether you're a businessman or not, you don't stand on your words, right? Because those were Snoop's words, and he's old enough to understand how to season his words so that they don't come back and bite him like this. And so this is a lesson, right? Just don't be running around saying shit, right? Because sometimes you may have to have an opportunity where the same people that you talking about now, you doing collaborations or you're performing for them. So don't say shit like this.
Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing.
Don't call your people these things. Don't say shit like this and then turn around and be that Uncle Tom ass
For
nigga.
Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it?
Calvin Brodus.
I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out of one of you
Calvin
Uncle
Brodus.
Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first?
Calvin Brodus. Ain't that his name? Calvin Brodus, aka Snoop Dogg. That Negro was gonna do it. He's a businessman with zero conviction. He is a businessman. I don't trust a businessman that would just go and say shit and then turn around looking stupid like this. You a shady ass, untrustworthy man with zero convictions. This is why wise men watch what they say. It's a lot of beta men running around here just saying shit. Real lions watch what they say. They are slow to speak. They are slow to speak. You know, you hear some of these men telling women, be quiet, be slow to speak, right? Some of y'all need to take that same advice because y'all acting like little bitches out here in the street. And you don't have a lot of conviction. And there's nothing worse in this world than a man without conviction. It's nothing worse in this world than a man without conviction. So, businessman or not, he's going to have to take the L for his words, right? This did not age very well for him at all. All right? Y'all get Trump tomorrow. No complaints, okay? Hey, look. I did not complain when Donald Trump was the president the first term. So I don't know what to expect this second term, but I was complaining a whole damn lot under the Biden administration. Good riddance to this outgoing administration. And I feel like America has been demonized so much since 2020 that honestly, it's like, you're kind of in the mindset, what could be worse at this point, right? What could be worse than the Biden administration? And I hate to ask that question. We will find out. We will find out. They broke out vaccine mandates. They tried to break the Nuremberg Code. Let us not forget that the Supreme Court had to stop them from violating our civil rights with these emergency usage vaccines that their pharmaceutical buddies got rich, filthy rich off of during the pandemic. But I don't think there will be any surprises with Trump. You know, who knows? I mean, you see supposedly he's brokered some type of peace deal. He's kind of putting his foot down with this Israel Palestine thing where it's more like he wants this to be resolved. I think he's not very happy with Netanyahu. So we will see how that goes. That dude is so bad for Israel. He's so bad for Israel. Netanyahu is so bad for Israel. He really is, in my opinion. And, you know, my country is funding that country, so I can say whatever the hell I want to say about Israel. As long as the American taxpayers' dollars are going to Israel, Americans should be able to say whatever the hell we want to say about that country, right? I mean, I don't think it's rational, right? And I'm not saying that, you know, people should be saying threatening things about any country, right? I believe that you should just leave every other country alone and worry about your own, stay in your own lane, right? But if you're sending taxpayers' money over to another nation's, America can talk shit about that nation all damn day, right? Especially if they getting us into some shit. It's like having a best friend that's always into some shit. Always into some shit. And every time you turn around, they calling you, oh, I need you to help me with this. I need you to help me with this. And it's just like, why you in this shit in the first damn place? Why are you in this shit in the first damn place? Because you don't want to be reasonable in some situation, right? And to me, when people want to protect, like, and I don't think that, again, I think the people of Israel, I don't know if all of them agree with this, ethno genocide that is going on in that region when it came to the Palestinians, you know, but it doesn't make their people look good at all. Like, and I feel like hopefully as we see this shift in world powers and whatnot, hopefully maybe they can get some new leadership as well, because I'm sorry, that man is going to have the whole world hating Israel just because he's on some Constantinian like imperialism stuff, trying to mock the scriptures, trying to, I don't know if these people who say that they are Jews over there are trying to recreate the conquering in the land of Canaan, where they were supposed to purify the land of all the nations who practice, vile things. They didn't even finish the job. The real Jews, or not Jews, but the real Hebrews. But, you know, hopefully these people can find some resolution. Trump seems like he's very adamant to end this conflict. I don't think this is a conflict that Trump wants hanging over his head, because, again, the longer it goes on, the more America gets pulled into some bullshit that Americans don't want to be in. And I'm sorry, just because Israel is our friend do not mean that we got to just be friend, supposedly. Does not mean we just got to be down with every damn conflict that they want to be in. If they want to go imperialize the Middle East, let them do that by themselves. Because ultimately, you know, it's only going to get to so far in that region, right? And, they're talking, they're going into Syria and all these other countries, but it's like they better be watching out for Russia and Turkey. Because, if they want to make these things biblical, these things can get very much biblical. Because, again, if you mock in the scriptures, which I do believe this whole Israel project is just a straight mockery of the scripture. I blame the Zionist Jews and Christians for these lies. And their apostates are gonna have to deal with the God of Abraham. So I can't even put too much stock on those apostates. But you mock in the scriptures and you might get the same results. So, like I always say, be careful. Watch out for that Gog of the land of Magog, right? Because, again, they can be reincarnated into these new nations. And if you know the history of man and the Bible, and even that region, and what they're trying to do in that region, you know that it doesn't end well for Israel. So they better stop that shit. But anyways, you guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. We will have a new president in this satanic nation where Lucifer dwells, America, tomorrow. And we will see what happens, right? Babylon the Great has a new leader. Babylon has a new leader. Absolutely, Roosevelt. The scriptures are unfolding right before us. And when they say peace and security, suddenly the day of our Lord will come as a thief. See, I think what's going on is I do believe that I do believe that this world is about to transition into an idea of better, right? I don't even think that it is the way that people are really thinking that it is, because if we were kind of looking at this from Bible prophecy standpoint, then Satan would need mankind completely satisfied. They would have to be satisfied to the point where they would not want a judgment day. It would actually make them angry against the Most High to have a judgment day. So this is where we see the hearts of people are going to turn cold, because they're going to have attachments to this system of things, just like Lot's wife, right? Lot's wife had an attachment to Sodom and Gomorrah. And this is why she disobeyed and she looked behind. She was longing for the things behind her. And there are a lot of people with the spirit of Lot's wives, these so called believers. And they don't really want this system of things to end. They don't even want to believe that there's an imminent destruction. It's easier for them to believe that these structures of men are going to make everything better for them. But, you know, we will see what happens, you guys. You know, we are living Bible prophecies. We are living Bible prophecies, you know. And it's a time for jubilation, actually. So, I mean, I don't really find these to be, it's fear inspiring for those who don't have faith, for those who are not in covenant, who, for those who really don't understand the word beyond what some clergyman apostate has taught to them. So I pray for everybody. I pray for everybody, even our brothers and sisters selling their souls for this and that with no conviction. Calvin Brodus. But anyways, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. If you have a day off tomorrow, enjoy it. And you know, if you're following the inauguration stuff, I might follow the inauguration stuff because there's always something comical to report. Rich people amuse me very much, you know. So we shall see what happens at Trump's inauguration. Stay warm. It's supposed to drop down to like what, 2 degrees in some places. I'm in Michigan. We are supposed to get very, very, very cold, but this is like normal for Michigan though. Like I was actually just talking to somebody and I'm like, this is actually the Michigan winter that I'm used to. Like just cold as hell. Ice all over the place, right? This is what we're used to. So we actually have a normal Michigan winter this year. So anyways, you guys stay warm and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.